Welcome to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Chris Kidd's a regular on the program. Love what he brings. Love our conversations. We talk a lot about sports, entertainment, and all of it relating back to and tying back to business. His website, by the way, is chriskidd, that's KIDD.com. Chris, a little bit about what you do, and then introduce us to our guest today, which looks like a great one.
I'm a financial coach, and basically that just means, helping people with money issues, whether it is from a business standpoint, either acquiring a business, growing a business, starting a brand new business, handling investments, and really learning how to handle their investments better versus, just turning your money over to somebody. And I, for one, don't really like handling anybody else's money myself, so I'm big on personal responsibility. And then there's the personal finance side, which is basically just dealing with the money management and, really helping individuals just get on track with where they want to be, getting out of debt, starting to build, some kind of wealth that they want, and just create a life that that they want. And I've worked with people from all over the spectrum, anywhere from high school kids that their parents wanted me to try to help them because they would listen to me, all the way up to professional athletes, entertainers, business owners, and all kind of different people. But I've got a really cool guest today as well. I'm big on the whole sports area, growing up as a coach's son, and which is also why I like working in that area on my financial coaching. Another guy in the sports arena, his name is Jay Whitehead. He's the CEO and co-founder of LeagueNetwork.com, and I want to let him tell us a little bit more about it. But welcome to the show, Jay.
Thank you very much.
Tell us, give us your elevator speech. Yeah, go right ahead.
So League Network came about, my wife and I have started half a dozen businesses together, had some fairly successful in media, IT, and fundraising. She's run one of the largest youth leagues, several thousand kids, 6 sports in New Jersey for 15 years as a volunteer. And she realized after 15 years of this that there's no one place for youth league leaders to go to figure out how to run a youth league well, nor is there a place for them to raise money well, which most of them have to do. And so she came to me in 2015 and said, look, this is a problem I think we can solve. Let's raise some money. Let's put a management team together. Let's put some technology together and try and fix this. And so we did. And so now League Network is a media platform that teaches best practices to youth tournament league leaders and raises funds through our leaguegrowth.com assisted fundraising platform. So we're a year and a half into this, and we've raised $1 million in investor money, and then are in the process of raising about $1 million for kids. Next year we'll do $20 million in fundraising for youth sports, and the year after that, hopefully, barring a nuclear weapon coming from North Korea, we'll do $100 million.
That is amazing growth.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, the website is leaguenetwork.com, leaguenetwork.com. Go ahead, next question, Chris.
Yeah, so Jay, I was looking at the website, and it's amazing. So do you work with primarily individual teams or leagues or both, or what's your typical, user or client?
Yeah. Our subscribers to League Network are the people who run 41,000 youth sports leagues in 30 team sports. It's about 350,000 people who comprise that marketplace. They're either tournament, league, or club leaders. They can be coaches. Most of them were sports parents or have been sports parents. And what we find is that we did a study back in 2016 that showed that the communities that had better run leagues, as defined by people who had trustees that had been with the leagues for more than 5 years, across the board had far higher high school graduation rates and lower youth crime rates, even when you control for socioeconomics. So youth sports leagues, a great youth sports league or two in your community is a great way to judge whether it's a great place to live. So that's
I love that.
That's our
trademark. Some big name investors too, like Ronnie Lott. I remember watching him play for the 49ers. He was just one of my favorites. But so how do you go about, courting these guys or bringing them in to be investors? I imagine it's kind of a passion of theirs anyway. But
well, it is. But a word to the wise. Ronnie Lott notwithstanding, and I'll talk about Ronnie in a moment, professional athletes are the worst investors in the history of Earth. So do not try and court them. They are not great investors. They spent their whole lives doing one thing, and that's not investing. They spent their whole lives being good at a sport, so they don't have the vocabulary generally. They don't have the expertise. They don't have the confidence to know what's good and what's not. And when you ask them for the check, most of them have alligator arms, meaning they can't reach the pen. So it's really it's a challenging market. But now Ronnie, having said that, Ronnie Lott, having been a member of 4 Super Bowl teams, a member of the NFL Hall of Fame, and being in Silicon Valley, was exposed to a lot of financial opportunities that most weren't. He and his teammate Harris Barton managed the NFL Players Association pension fund for a number of years, and Ronnie himself has made 9 figures worth of profits in venture capital-backed companies. So he's a very savvy investor, and we're very fortunate to have him on our capitalization table as an investor. He's a very savvy guy, and has led us to some great relationships. There are others out there like him who are really savvy investors who are former pro athletes, whether it's in baseball or football or basketball or others. But overall, I would court just about any other group on earth other than professional athletes as an investor.
Let me ask you, Jay, that's interesting. So how big is the motive? Obviously, when you're writing checks, it can't be entirely altruistic, but how important do you think the values are of cultivating youth sports into people that you're getting as investors? Because to me, it seems like that would play some role, if not a significant one.
Right. Well, so the good thing about youth sports is that in America, at least, about 95% of people have some exposure to youth sports. So it's a topic that's universally understood. Also, most people who are adults who have done youth sports know something about fundraising because they had to do it and they hated it. So we did a survey back in 2016. We asked about 4,000 youth sports leaders, what's the number one pain about running a youth sports league, team, tournament, club? And they said, fundraising. I hate it. It's the reason I'm going to quit doing this. So that's why we figured out a better way to do it, the easiest. So our League Growth Assisted Fundraising platform, which you can find at leaguegrowth.com, is the easiest, fastest, surest way for people to raise money for their youth sports team. It works like GoFundMe, which is great for disasters but terrible for youth sports teams. GoFundMe campaigns, by the way, for youth sports teams fail to raise a penny 76% of the time, while we succeed 94% of the time to raise the entire amount that the team wants, because we have a unique way of approaching this that's optimized for youth sports teams. We run the campaigns for you. GoFundMe is self-service, so you have to do it all yourself. But
got to do it yourself, and if you don't know how to do it specifically for sports, it's going to be problematic. Meanwhile, when you go to a place like your site, they're there for that purpose, so it makes perfect sense. Jay, thanks so much. We got to wrap it up with that. We're quickly running out of clock, but this was incredibly useful and I think informative. And I have been involved as a coach assistant coach, and a teen mom on occasion for teens, for kids for years. And so I didn't wear a dress nor lipstick, but I essentially played that role. And so this stuff is so important, and I really want to encourage people to learn more about it. Again, go to leaguenetwork.com, leaguenetwork.com. Plus, you want to learn more about Chris Kidd, I strongly encourage you to do that. He's a great person to have in your financial corner. Chris Kidd, KIDD.com. That's chriskidd.com. You're listening to The Price of Business. We are nationally syndicated on the BizTalk Radio Network. I do want to remind you, the show continues 24/7 at priceofbusiness.com, where we got great audio, video, articles, and more. Also want to thank everyone for the great feedback we've been getting with our national expansion, and we've recently added markets in Alabama and Illinois, and looking at Pennsylvania and Ohio and New York, and we just appreciate your growing audience out there on this program. You are, again, listening to The Price of Business on the BizTalk Radio Network.